all these things are rescued from pretty cool places, other hotels, restaurants, clubs, bandstands, and that's fun.
One of our viewers from Florence who grew up in Marion, who I know is watching right now, will want to come down if she hadn't been down, who has a lot of chandeliers from the Ocean Forest at her different homes in the PD and down on the Strand. And
we have stained glass in the next room in front of the dancing room from the Marion Baptist Church.
Oh, really?
And this piece of stained glass is from the from the Red Springs, North Carolina Baptist Church. And in the ceiling of the bar and in the tower is stained glass from the Mullins Baptist Church.
Now, how much of this was planned out, Dino, when you were talking to George Cooper, when you were showing him this stuff? Was any of that really down to the wire planned out, or it was just the general concept that people were saying, you got to be crazy, I'm not going to touch this thing?
Well, yeah, a lot of it. We had a vision.
69
we had a
vendors,
vision. I was sitting there drawing restaurants for years and years, trying to figure out what I wanted, and I knew I'd want to utilize this.
Right.
A lot of people from Red Springs come in and sit right there in front of that table because they were baptized and married in that church.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that church it was built in 1911 and torn down in 74. And they had the same minister for all those years, which is pretty unusual for a church.
1911 to 1974?
Yeah, same minister.
No, 63 years.
Most churches fire their minister about every 7 or 8 years.
Every few years. That is incredible. That is incredible. Well, of course, we've only got about 5 minutes, and I do want to make sure I ask, there is a sister restaurant. You and Dino, your partner, have another place that opened up, and that is in Myrtle Beach. Right
down Myrtle Beach on 71st Avenue. It's the Flamingo Grill. We tried to make it a complete departure from this. It's Art Deco. It's kind of hip, and it's a fun place. The menu's similar but different. If you like Cagney's, I think you'd love Flamingo Grill too.
That's great. And both of the restaurants are open. Is this 7 days a week? Or
six days a week for dinner.
Great.
We close on Sundays.
Okay. And y'all are not open for lunch, just for dinner in both locations?
Right.
Okay. Good to know. Beach Music Hall of Fame. Obviously, a lot of focus coming up for the big induction ceremony on May 15th. I believe it's a Sunday.
Yeah, also a Sunday. And what we've done, Coastal Carolina University got a group of us together to create a Hall of Fame.
Right.
We've inducted 10 songs and 8 artists.
Okay.
And we'll induct them on Sunday, May the 15th. It's been a fun journey. We've got a great committee.
Oh, yeah.
Great bunch of people. And what we've tried to do is to allow people to rediscover these forgotten giants that created what we call R&B.
Right.
And whether you're a rock fan or a rap fan, an R&B fan, or a hip-hop fan, the people we've inducted, all the artists that you like and everybody's listening to are standing on the shoulders of these great forgotten geniuses and giants like Amos Milburn and Big Joe Turner and Fats Domino and Ruth Brown, Hank Ballard, the Drifters and the Clovers, and these people were geniuses in their own right.
Yes.
And unappreciated as far as geniuses. A lot of people talk about the American jazz form as a great creation, but so is this music.
Wow.
It is one of our greatest art forms. And I think, and that music brought the races together in the 40s and 50s. It was extraordinarily instrumental in bringing the races together, because we all wanted that same music, and so it brought us together.
That's a very important point, and probably one that is oftentimes not highlighted. Right. Truly, that opportunity for races to mix in a setting that just in a normal environment that just wasn't happening at that time.
I saw Little Richard in what we called Color Town back then at one of the great clubs on Carver Street when I was 10 years old. And I saw Clyde McFadder there, and we used to go to the black clubs. It was no problem. We all got along, and it was one of the great integrators of our society, this music.
That's incredible, Dino. The Wheelwright box office is open, I believe, 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. The phone number is at 349-2502.
Exactly.
Okay, so folks can call. The tickets are as reasonable as $20, and to be able to be there on a Sunday, a great day for you and your partner, since the 2 restaurants will be closed, to get out there, and so many other folks on a Sunday at 6 p.m. to be able to be there at Coastal Carolina University or Wheelwright Auditorium to celebrate these tremendous 10 songs, 8 artists. And this is just the first year. Each year, y'all will, the plan is to continue to highlight folks?
Exactly, yeah. Hopefully it'll go on, and hopefully we'll introduce artists that maybe you've forgotten and most of the audience has.
Right, right. Well, I'm sure there are probably a heck of a lot of folks who you would have liked to have recognized the first year. You know that there's a list of folks that will continue to be added year after year. How did you come up with that list for the first year? That must be pretty difficult. Was there a certain portion of the committee, or was it the entire committee getting together? Did you have a voting process?
We
Was there
did.
someone kind of leading a chalkboard, Harry Turner, or whatever?
Well, for the first induction year, we wanted only to consider artists that had recorded before 1955.
Oh, great. Okay.
And we also only considered songs that were released before 1955.
Wow.
Why? Because we thought this was the roots of beach music. We thought these were the pioneers, and so we only looked at those artists, and we went through a couple hundred great artists and several hundred songs, and picked 10 songs to start with and 8 great artists. Next year we'll consider 55 and back and 55 and forward. So it was an elaborate process that we went through. It was fun, a good journey.
I bet. That is exciting, Dino. We just got a couple of minutes, and we've highlighted the big pieces there. I've got to make sure and ask, is there another book in the works? Is there another?
Yes.
There's clearly a Greek boy here. You're still growing up Southern. You're still growing up, I'm sure, all the time. Is there another restaurant opportunity?
Well, I'm finishing up a book that is sort of 40 years of outrageous anecdotes of the restaurant business.
It is restaurants, excuse me, I'm saying book opportunity.
It is, and you know, you only write about the crazy catastrophes and the insane customers that you deal with over the 40 years. Those are the funny ones, not the 98% of the wonderful, nice people. But those are not as funny. So
now,
that's
is
what
this
I'm writing
anecdotal, or is this all you? I mean, is this all experiences you and Dino have had?
Well, this is experiences I've had.
Really?
In the restaurant business, yeah.
There are that many that you could put together
Yes.
You could probably put together a couple of books.
It's kind of my zany philosophy, and there's a lesson in every story, you know, from brawls to crazy customers to it was fun. I might even send you some of those to read if you want. Some of those stories.
I'd love it. I'd love it, Dino. Was there anything that you did not write for your dad? Anything you wish you'd gotten in there? Anything that you wish you'd gotten in front of him prior to him turning 90 and not being with us? Was there something, a story that stood out and thought, oh my Lord, I should have gotten it in front of him?
There's one chapter in there where I talk about my dad. It's sort of an epiphany we had on the fishing pier, where he told me the story of him coming to America.
Oh, boy.
And I wish I'd written that for him, because everybody that reads that tells me it brings a tear to their eye. It's a pretty poignant story, whereas most of the stories I try to find humor in. I wish he would have read that one. I think he would have enjoyed that.
Right. Wow.
But I sort of wrote the story of him coming to America, but I didn't write how I felt when he told me that story. I wish he could have read that.
Well, we will have to make sure folks get a copy. They need to come to Cagney's old place to get a copy. They need to go online, Amazon or other places, Kindle, Nook, and a plethora of other places to get a copy. And hopefully folks will take the time to do just that. Dino, thanks so much for being with us this morning. Stay tuned to a little more Carolina People with Dino Thompson, the chairman of the Beach Music Hall of Fame Committee and local author, coming up next. The event is the Beach Music Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The date, Sunday, May 15th, 6 p.m. The place, Wheelwright Auditorium at Coastal Carolina University. Just $20. $20. The box office opens at 9 o'clock today. It's open Monday through Friday, 9 to 4:30. Phone number, real simple, 349-2502. 349-2502. Give them a call. Lock it up today. That's a Sunday. It's a day of rest. It'll be a great day to be out there celebrating these 10 tremendous songs and 8 great artists, all before 1955. Another great place, Cagney's old place, right here where we're seated. You can come on by Monday through Saturday, 4 to 10:30, 4 to 10:30. Is that right? 4 to 10:30. And this is the place to pick up this tremendous book, along with other places. Greek Boy, Growing Up Southern, a Myrtle Beach memoir. We've been with the author today, but it doesn't say enough without taking the time to read these couple of gushes and blurbs. The author's mother says, the damnedest book I've ever read. And the author's wife, Susie, I use it for a doorstop. You got to take the time. Twang or no twang, he ain't no Tolstoy, said the author's first grade teacher, Miss Beagle. Hell of a footstool, said the author's manager here at Cagney's, Danny. Cleo writes that the author writes like he's gargling with grits. That's the author's mother-in-law. The author's secretary, Martha, says the covers are too far apart. And lastly, Granny Tinsley, his wife's grandmother, says, does the boy eat with that mouth? You'll have to find out what she's talking about when you come by Cagney's old place and pick up a copy of Greek Boy, Growing Up Southern, a Myrtle Beach memoir. Dino, thanks again for being with us. Good luck on Sunday, May 15th.
Thank you.
Very exciting.